وبعظمتك التي ملأت كل شيء، وبسلطانك الذي علا كل شيء، وبوجهك الباقي بعد فناء كل شيء، وبأسمائك التي ملأت أركان كل شيء، وبعلمك الذي أحاط بكل شيء، وبنور وجهك الذي أضاء له كل شيء. يا نور يا قدوس، يا أول الأولين ويا آخر الآخرين، اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تهتك العصم، اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل النقم، اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تغير النعم، اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تحبس الدعاء، اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تقطع الرجاء، اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل البلاء، اللهم اغفر لي كل ذنب أذنبته وكل خطيئة أخطأتها. اللهم إني أتقرب إليك بذكرك، وأستشفع بك إلى نفسك، وأسألك بجودك أن تدنيني من قربك، وأن توزعني شكرك، وأن تلهمني. اللهم إني أسألك سؤال خاضع متذلل خاشع متضرع، أن تسامحني وترحمني، وتجعلني بقسمك راضية قانعة، وفي جميع الأحوال متواضعة. اللهم وأسألك سؤال من اشتدت فاقته، وأنزل بك عند الشدائد حاجته، وعظم فيما عندك رغبته. اللهم عظم سلطانك، وعلى مكانك، وخفي مكرك، وظهر أمرك، وغلب قهرك، وجرت قدرتك، ولا يمكن الفرار من حكومتك. اللهم لا غافرة، ولا لقبائحي ساترة، ولا لشيء من عملي مبدلا غيرك. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك وبحمدك. ظلمت نفسي وتجرأت بجهلي، وسكنت إلى قديم ذكرك لي ومنك علي. اللهم مولاي، كم من قبيح سترته، وكم من فادح من البلاء أقلته، وكم من عثار وقيته، وكم من مكروه دفعته، وكم من ثناء جميل لست أهلا له نشرته. اللهم عظم بلائي، وأفرط بي سوء حالي، وقصرت بي أعمالي، وقعدت بي أغلالي، وحبسني عن نفعي بعد آمالي، وخدعتني الدنيا بغرورها، ونفسي بجنايتها، ومطالي يا سيدي. فأسألك بعزتك أن لا يحجب عنك دعائي سوء عملي وفعالي، ولا تفضحني بخفي ما اطلعت عليه من سري، ولا تعاجلني بالعقوبة على ما عملته في خلواتي من سوء فعلي وإساءتي، ودوام تفريطي وجهالتي، وكثرة شهواتي وغفلتي. وكن اللهم بعزتك لي في كل الأحوال رؤوفا، وعلي في جميع الأمور عطوفا. اللهم وربي، من لي غيرك أسأله كشف ضري والنظر في أمري. اللهم ومولاي، أجريت علي حكما تبعت فيه هوى نفسي، ولم أحترس فيه من تزيين عدو، وأسعده على ذلك القضاء، فتجاوزت بما جرى علي من ذلك بعض حدودك، وخالفت بعض أوامرك، فلك الحمد في جميع ذلك، ولا حجة لي فيما جرى علي فيه قضاؤك، وألزمني حكمك وبلاؤك. وقد أتيتك يا إلهي بعد تقصيري وإسرافي على نفسي، معتذرا نادما منكسرا مستقيلا مستغفرا منيبا مقرا مذعنا معترفا، لا أجد مفرا مما كان مني، ولا مفزعا أتوجه إليه في أمري، غير قبولك عذري، وإدخالك إياي في سعة من رحمتك. اللهم فاقبل عذري، وارحم شدة ضري، وفكني من شد وثاقي. يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني، ورقة جلدي، ودقة عظمي. يا من بدأ خلقي وذكري وتربيتي وبري وتغذيتي، هبني لابتداء كرمك وسالف برك بي. يا إلهي وسيدي وربي، أتراك معذبي بنارك بعد توحيدك، وبعد ما انطوى عليه قلبي من معرفتك، ولهج به لساني من ذكرك، واعتقده ضميري من حبك، وبعد صدق اعترافي ودعائي خاضعا لربوبيتك. هيهات، أنت أكرم من أن تضيع من ربيته، أو تبعد من أدنيته، أو تشرد من آويته، أو تسلم إلى البلاء من كفيته ورحمته. وليت شعري يا سيدي وإلهي ومولاي أتسلط النار على وجوه خرت لعظمتك ساجدة، وعلى ألسن نطقت بتوحيدك صادقة، وبشكرك مادحة، وعلى قلوب اعترفت بإلهيتك محققة، وعلى ضمائر حوت من العلم بك حتى صارت خاشعة، وعلى جوارح سعت إلى أوطان تعبدك طائعة، وأشارت باستغفارك مذعنة. ما هكذا الظن بك، ولا أخبرنا بفضلك عنك يا كريم يا رب، يا رب وأنت تعلم ضعفي عن قليل بلاء الدنيا وعقوباتها، وما يجري فيها من المكاره على أهلها، على أن ذلك بلاء ومكروه، قليل مكثه، يسير بقاؤه، قصير مدته، فكيف احتمالي لبلاء الآخرة وجليل وقوع المكاره فيها، وهو بلاء تطول مدته ويدوم مقامه ولا يخفف عن أهله، لأنه لا يكون إلا عن غضبك وانتقامك وسخطك، وهذا ما لا تقوم له السماوات والأرض. يا سيدي فكيف بي وأنا عبدك الضعيف الذليل الحقير المسكين المستكين؟ يا إلهي وربي وسيدي ومولاي، لأي الأمور إليك أشكو، ولما منها أضج وأبكي؟ لأليم العذاب وشدته، أم لطول البلاء ومدته؟ فلئن صيرتني للعقوبات مع أعدائك، وجمعت بيني وبين أهل بلائك، وفرقت بيني وبين أحبائك وأوليائك، فهبني يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي وربي. صبرت على عذابك فكيف أصبر على فراقك؟ وهبني. صبرت على حر نارك فكيف أصبر على النظر إلى كرامتك؟ أم كيف أسكن في النار ورجائي عفوك؟ فبعزتك يا سيدي ومولاي أقسم صادقا، لئن تركتني ناطقا لأضجن إليك بين أهلها ضجيج الآملين، ولأصرخن إليك صراخ المستصرخين، ولأبكين عليك بكاء الفاقدين، ولأنادينك أين كنت يا ولي المؤمنين، يا غاية آمال العارفين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا حبيب قلوب الصادقين، ويا إله العالمين. أفتراك سبحانك يا إلهي وبحمدك تسمع فيها صوت عبد مسلم سجن فيها بمخالفته، وذاق طعم عذابها بمعصيته، وحبس بين أطباقها بجرمه وجريرته، وهو يضج إليك ضجيج مؤمل لرحمتك، ويناديك بلسان أهل توحيدك، ويتوسل إليك بربوبيتك. يا مولاي فكيف يبقى في العذاب وهو يرجو ما سلف من حلمك ورأفتك؟ أم كيف تؤلمه النار وهو يأمل فضلك ورحمتك؟ أم كيف يحرقه لهيبها وأنت تسمع صوته وترى مكانه؟ أم كيف يشتمل عليه زفيرها وأنت تعلم ضعفه؟ أم كيف يتقلقل بين أطباقها وأنت تعلم صدقه؟ أم كيف تزجره زبانيتها وهو يناديك يا رباه؟ أم كيف يرجو فضلك في عتقه منها فتتركه فيها؟ هيهات ما ذاك الظن بك، ولا المعروف من فضلك، ولا مشبه لما عاملت به الموحدين من برك وإحسانك. فباليقين أقطع لولا ما حكمت به من تعذيب جاحديك، وقضيت به من إخلاد معانديك، لجعلت النار كلها بردا وسلاما، وما كان لأحد فيها مقرا ولا مقاما. لكنك تقدست أسماؤك أقسمت أن تملأها من الكافرين من الجنة والناس أجمعين، وأن تخلد فيها المعاندين. وأنت جل ثناؤك قلت مبتدئا، وتطولت بالإنعام متكرما. أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون؟ إلهي وسيدي فأسألك بالقدرة التي قدرتها، والقضية التي حتمتها وحكمتها وغلبت من عليه أجريتها، أن تهب لي في هذه الليلة وفي هذه الساعة كل جرم أجرمته، وكل ذنب أذنبته، وكل قبيح أسررته، وكل جهل عملته كتمته وأعلنته، أخفيته أو أظهرته، وكل سيئة أمرت بإثباتها الكرام الكاتبين الذين وكلتهم بحفظ ما يكون مني، وجعلتهم شهودا علي مع جوارحي، وكنت أنت الرقيب عليهم من ورائهم. وكنت أنت الرقيب علي من ورائهم والشاهد لما خفي عنهم، وبرحمتك أخفيته وبفضلك سترته، وأن توفر حظي من كل خير أنزلته وإحسان فضلته، أو نشرته، أو رزق بسطته، أو ذنب تغفره، أو خطأ تستره. يا ربي يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، يا إلهي ويا سيدي ومولاي ومالك رقي، يا من بيده ناصيتي، يا عليما بضري ومسكنتي، يا خبيرا بفقري وفاقتي. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، أسألك بحقك وقدسك وأعظم صفاتك وأسمائك أن تجعل أوقاتي من الليل والنهار بذكرك معمورة، وبخدمتك موصولة، وأعمالي عندك مقبولة، حتى تكون أعمالي وأورادي كلها وردا واحدا، وحالي في خدمتك سرمدا. يا سيدي يا من عليه معولي، يا من إليه شكوت أحوالي، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، قوي على خدمتك جوارحي، واشدد على العزيمة جوانحي، وهب لي الجد في خشيتك والدوام في الاتصال بخدمتك، حتى أسرح إليك في ميادين السابقين، وأسرع إليك في المبادرين، وأشتاق إلى قربك في المشتاقين، وأدنو منك دنو المخلصين، وأخافك مخافة الموقنين، وأجتمع في جوارك مع المؤمنين. اللهم ومن أرادني بسوء فأرده، ومن كادني فكده، واجعلني من أحسن عبيدك نصيبا عندك، وأقربهم منزلة منك، وأخصهم زلفة لديك، فإنه لا ينال ذلك إلا بفضلك. وجد لي بجودك، واعطف علي بمجدك، واحفظني برحمتك، واجعل لساني بذكرك لهجا، وقلبي بحبك متيما، ومن علي بحسن إجابتك، وأقلني عثرتي واغفر زلتي، فإنك قضيت على عبادك بعبادتك، وأمرتهم بدعائك، وضمنت لهم الإجابة. فإليك يا ربي نصبت وجهي، وإليك يا ربي مددت يدي، فبعزتك استجب لي دعائي، وبلغني مناي، ولا تقطع من فضلك رجائي، واكفني شر الجن والإنس من أعدائي. يا سريع الرضا واغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء، فإنك فعال لما تشاء. يا من اسمه دواء وذكره شفاء وطاعته غنى، ارحم من رأس ماله الرجاء وسلاحه البكاء. يا سابغ النعم يا دافع النقم، يا نور المستوحشين في الظلم، يا عالما لا يعلم، صل على محمد وآل محمد، وافعل بي ما أنت أهله. وصلى الله على رسوله والأئمة الميامين من آله وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين والقرآن الحكيم، إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم، تنزيل العزيز الرحيم، لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون. إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون، وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون. وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم. إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين. واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون. قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون. قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين. قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم. قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون. وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون. فما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون. أأتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغنيني شفاءتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون. إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين. إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون. قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين. وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين. إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون. يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون. ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون. وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون. وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها هبا فمنه يأكلون. وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وأعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون. سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون. وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار وإذا هم مظلمون. والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم. والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالأرجون القديم. لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون. وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون. وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولهم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين. وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون. وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين. وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين. ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين. ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون. ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون. قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مركزنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون. إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون. فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون. إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم أن لا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أذل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نؤمره ننقصه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه شعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم ير الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأكثر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون صدق الله العلي العظيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد سورة مبارك الفاتحة بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
सकते नहीं तस्वीर भी आईने में। गम शबीर अमानत है मेरे सीने में। बच्चा 6 माह का था, सामने दरिया था रवां। बच्चा 6 माह का था, सामने दरिया था रवां। क्या घटा जाता था 2 घूंट भला पीने में। गम शबीर अमानत है मेरे सीने में। एक यही बात है जो दिल है लगा जीने में। गम शबीर अमानत है मेरे सीने में। और मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सलवात।
محمد وآل محمد صلوات. Can I please request everyone to recite Surah Fatiha for all al-Marhumin al-Fatiha. Inshallah, tomorrow Salatul Jummah will start at 11:54 a.m. and Saeed Farazdak Rizvi is going to be leading Jummah prayers. Can I please request Kamal Bhai to come to the podium to recite Majlis Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad Salawat. Allahumma salli ala.
Surah Mubarak al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خاتم النبيين وآله الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآله. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, obviously, we have just commemorated Ayyam Fatimiyya, and that was, and obviously in the coming days as well, we will be remembering the Holy Lady because of her birth date, which will be coming soon. And I had the honor of speaking a few words just a couple of weeks back about the same topic. I will continue with the same theme, which is the knowledge of our Holy Lady. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And obviously, there is another reason. We all know that there is a lot going on in the world, which has left people very anxious and very much thinking about it. And may Allah protect all our, if I can use the word, interest, our brothers, sisters, and our holy shrines, and basically get us to a path which is peaceful for all of us. In these days, we remember Lady Fatma, and I have humbly submitted that quite often we limit her to her grief of Baitul Ihsan, and she cried for 90 days or 75 days, and she passed away. And obviously she went through the huge catalogue of calamities which were fallen on her. But like I humbly submitted last time as well, and many times I have said, Lady Fatima is beyond just that grief as well. In that short life that she had given us such huge theology, which we really need to get benefit from. And this is why I liked, and I have in the previous years presented the book of Ali Shariati, Fatima Hast. Fatima is Fatima. And in the end of that book, this part I like the best, where he says that I finished the book and I wanted to name it. And my initial idea was I will call it The Daughter of Prophet. And then I thought, no, it should be a bit more than that. And then this name and that name. And in the end, he came that really Fatima is Fatima. There is no comparison. No word will justify her belonging to this world and belonging to us. And I think this is the part some people like me miss. Why is Fatima Fatima? And this is why we have reflected a little bit on Fadak, and I will go back there. And before that, let me summarize what we talked about last time. We talked about her relationship with her father, her history. She was born and she was brought up by the Prophet when very early in her life she became an orphan. Not orphan, or meaning her mother died. So Holy Prophet had the huge responsibility of bringing her up. There was a special bonding between the two. And that bonding is shown both ways. Holy Prophet actually stands up for her, gives her place, which means he has to stand up himself or sits on the floor. There's no other way. There were no two different chairs in that in Masjid al-Nabawi as we know it. So and there was only a small podium-like place. So if he's putting her there, where is he sitting? Remarkable. Think of it this way. But then Lady Fatima is the one, as a little girl, when people used to throw stones at Holy Prophet, famous incidents of Taif, it is said that it happened when Lady Fatima was a little girl and she went to wash. How will a little girl of few years old will see her father completely like attacked and brutally just hurt all over the place? She's growing up with that. This is the special relationship she has. And that relationship is not just on the emotional level. She's learning. She's learning and becoming Fatima. And this is what we want to remember. The second part is about Fadak, and this is what I want to concentrate on today, that what was important for us to take out from the sermon of Fadak. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. If you look at Fadak, and we all have looked at it, I'm sure we have read it at least, even if we have not reflected. It starts by obviously Tawheed. And it starts about remembering her Prophet. After Tawheed, she goes on to talk about Prophet. And then there are some snippets here and there, which a couple of them I would like to take benefit from. The part I want us to really look at, which is real theology, and please, I'm sure you would have done that anyway, but reflect on it. The concept of Imamat, which is in Fadak, you will never find anywhere. So many Mujtahideen and scholars have said it. If we really want to go for Imamat and consolidate our concept of Imamat, read Fadak. And this is what you will take from. And I will take just very small part of it. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And this is for us, as I said. I mean, she's talking to, obviously, the tyrants of that time. But actually, she's actually telling us what is Imamat as well. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. You are the servants of Allah, the recipients of His commandments and prohibitions, the bearers of His religion and revelation, and the trustees of Allah over your souls. You are the propagators of His message to all people. So he's talking about the Imams. His true proxy. So basically she starts by speaking to them. You are the servants of Allah. You need to protect Islam. You need to take it forward. So this is us. Now she reverts to Imamat. His true proxy the propagators of the message of Allah to all people, his true proxy is present among you as the legacy that Prophet left behind for you, giving it authority over you. She starts by the concept of authority. He is the articulate book of Allah, Quran-e-Natiq. He's speaking Quran. Yes, you can look at Quran, and this is a beautiful point. I'll come to that in a second, based on what I have said. He is true Quran, the radiant light, the shining illumination with proofs that are manifest and mysteries that are evident. Its apparent message is clear, and for those who follow it, people envy them who follow it. Those who adhere to it are led to Allah's pleasure, and those who heed to it are saved. Through it, the enlightened proofs of Allah, his logical verdicts, coming to fiqh, and his derivations, what we need to take from him, his forewarned prohibitions, his unambiguous statements, his sufficient evidence, his mandated virtues, his bestowed leniency, and his ordained laws. She is trying to give us the picture what we should be taking from Imams. It's a clear picture here. And she's explaining it to the level which one of the books which I have, I'm sure, again, as I said, you would have your own resources. But when sometimes we read our ulama's books, some of the books just hit us. And you really feel that, yes, exactly, this scholar is talking to us. Khwaja Nasiruddin Tusi, his book on Imamat is short, simple, and I can understand it. And I think I've shared it before as well, but let's go back there. He talks about Imams. What are they? And he divides it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has left us some rahm and some karam. So rahm is something which we need, and we know that we need it. So if Allah's without rahm and that mercy, we can't live. Karam is also mercy, isn't it? But karam is that which is given to us when we know that it will help us, but maybe we could live without it. But Allah did the karam. We could live with a smaller, or older car. Allah did the karam, we got a better car. Allah, we could live in some clothes. Allah did the karam, we got better clothes. And the third one, he says, but Imamat is Allah's lutf, which is mercy as well again. But it's a different thing. And he describes it, that is that part which we don't, it is that kindness of Allah which did not even know that we need it. And he still gave it to us. At least karam, we know we need to put our clothes on. But lutf is something which Allah has given us. You don't even know it's good for you. And that's Imamat. And in that book he also defines what is that Imams, what are those Imams' tasks. And simply speaking, which I get, is there is a huge discussion with brothers that why Imams are more important for you than Nabis. Because Nabi Ibrahim, our brothers say that the Anbiya are so high. And why do you put Imam so high in that level? And he said, well, of course there's a theological reason, but there's a logical reason as well. And this is what I like about Tusi. People are Khwaja Tusi. It's not Sheikh Tusi of Ibn Najaf, it's Khwaja Tusi. And again, as I said, it hits you. He says there's a logical reason as well. Prophet or Nabi is from Niba. So he's bringing news to us, isn't it? So where is news coming from? From Allah down there. And that's what we are receiving. But the message is finished. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent his last prophet. So logically, we don't need any new message. But we now need Imam who will take us forward now. So prophethood comes from top down, Imam goes from down up. He's going to lead us now. So logically, so obviously theological reasons are there that Imams are holy personalities, and he said, but there's a logical, it's a need for us to have an Imam. Because otherwise, how do we survive? Nobody's going to tell us this book in front of us, but we are confused. So we don't need a new message. We need somebody to tell the message to take us forward. That's why we need Imam. And this is what I was saying earlier, that sometimes you read a book and that clicks in your head. That's a simple explanation. Why do we need Imam more than we need Nabi today? Obviously, we need Nabi. Holy Prophet came and but after him, we need an Imam to take us forward. Who are the Imams? So let's look at Quran. Quran clearly gives us that whether you like it or not, you will have an Imam. You might say that you don't need an Imam. Our brothers will say we never need an Imam. Our non-Muslim friends will say we don't need a leader. We are democratic, we are individualized society, we can make autonomous decision and we can move forward. You will have an Imam, you like it or not. Like Surah Al-Anbiya, as we have read, وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً لَيَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا. And we made them Imams who guided by our command. So you can take this one example. Now you can argue, well, we will definitely know who is our Imam, but somebody wants to say, well, who will be Imam? Well, this is one type of Imam who will take Allah's command and move us forward. This is exactly what we be saying in very simple language. You need somebody who can take you the book, who can guide you, who can take you forward, who will tell you the virtues. This is what she's saying. Simple language. And Quran says the same. Obviously, as we have heard, these people will not say anything which will be contradicting to Quran anyway. But Surah Qasas, it clearly says, وَجَعَلْنَهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَدْعُونَ إِلَى النَّارِ. And there are Imams who call you to the, and you made the Imams who call you to the fire. On the day of the resurrection, you will not be assisted. Because you chose, in other words, you chose them as Imams. So we do have Imams, whether we like it or not. And if I can dare say, no blasphemy here, but people take Imams as celebrities. Why do I want to behave in a particular way? Because the celebrity behaves in that way. And why do I want to do that? Because actually what somebody like me has not done, what was Imam Ali for? What sort of behavior he had? We know about his bravery, we must know. We know about his knowledge, we must know. But do we really actually follow what was his behavior? How did he speak? How did he talk to people? How did he bring up his children? This will be my Imam. And this is what BB is saying. If you want Imam, you follow them. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali. The knowledge is obviously on the top. Khwaja Tusi again writes that there are, again, these are my extractions from him, that Imam will do three things. Tawsil, which is delivering the religion, which is not clear. Himayat and Difa of the religion. He is the guardian of the religion. And Tashrih Quran. So basically, simple thing. Imam will make it simple for us. Because things are complicated, you like it or not. Even for us. We have an Imam, but somebody like me does not read it properly, then we get confused. What will happen in this thing? What if Imam Hussain was here, what will he do in this situation? Or Imam Ali was there, what will he do? And we actually do cherry picking. We take one hadith from here and one incident from here, and we actually try to prove what I am doing is what Imam did. Rather than looking at the bigger picture, the holistic picture. Why do I know that? Let's actually talk about Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam. Imam Jafar Sadiq was once sitting and he was speaking to Imam Abu Hanifa, who is one of the revered scholars of Sunni Islam, and whole of the sect of Hanafi Sunnis is on his following, and which is the largest Sunni sect in the world. And I would not go into much details, but just look at these three things. So Imam said, as you know, even today, Sunni brothers will have a concept of qiyas. They will speculate and they will get to the result rather than aql. So without any of that, I believe this is the right thing to do. Imam said, Noman, which was his name, I heard that you actually promote qiyas, the speculation. or conjuncture? He said, yeah, because that's the logical thing to do, because if it is not in Quran, it's not in Hadith, then we need to have it. He said, okay, let me ask you the question. And maybe we can ask ourselves this question as well. Which sin is greater, murder or adultery? What would be the logical answer? Qiyas. Murder. Subhanallah. Imam said, okay, if murder is bigger, how many witnesses you need for murder to prosecute? 2. And how many for adultery? 4. So which one is bigger? And Nu'man bin Sabit just stood there and said, well, I don't know. Never thought of it this way. Imam said, okay, what is the superior ibadat? And let's ask ourselves, Som or Salat? Salat, isn't it? Imam said, okay, if that is the case, when women is having her periods, does she have to pay the qaza of Som? Or yes or no? Does she have to pay the qaza of Salat? No. So she can leave Salat, but she can't leave Som. Where is your qiyas now? And another question, there are lots of questions. I just enjoyed reading it. Who's stronger to look after themselves, men or women? Men. That's what logically people will say. Okay, no one say, okay, I can hear that. So when, so why in inheritance there are 2 shares versus 1 share? They should look after themselves. So, and then Imam actually gives good narrations on why the qiyas will take you to the wrong side. And there are about 7-8 questions which go on and on. Let's stop here. But he said, well, because in murder there is one victim or one perpetrator. In adultery there are 2. So there are still 2 witnesses, but for 2 people. Ibadat, obviously, there are too many salats she will be leaving behind, and it will be a burden on him. And Islam is a clean, kareem mazhab. It will not be burdening you. So women should not go back and do all of that. That's okay. Move forward. But there might be only few fasts which people can do. And this is how it went on. This is how we know we need an imam who will move us forward without any qiyas and conjuncture and speculations. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And this is why there's an interesting hadith which actually you can find in Shia books as well. But may I just make a claim here? Please, if you find it, you will also find we have taken it from Sunni resources, which is this, that a person who dies without the knowledge of Imam dies in death of Jahiliyyah. If you look at the root, it has come from Sunni sources, which now is actually translated into. So it is such established principle. And now it will become clear for you, there was a reason they started calling Abu Hanifa Imam Abu Hanifa, Shafi'i Imam Shafi'i, Malik Imam Malik ibn Anas. That came because of this need, that they had to declare somebody their Imam, the early Sunni theologians. But just like they picked up their Khalifa, they started picking up Imams. And that's where they got lost. And this is where Bibi excels. We have talked a couple of things which are really important for us to understand. When Bibi went for Fadak, you can also argue that actually was it the palm trees and the date trees, that's what she wanted. Obviously, it was a huge economic assault on Imam Ali's family. But also important to remember, Bibi was trying to show, if you look at the sermon, she's trying to show that you don't know faith, you don't know religion. Because very famously, we think that Fadak sermon happened about 9th or 10th of Rabiul Awwal. Whereas 28th of Safar, it's only like 12 days or 2 weeks maybe, 2, 3, even 3 weeks, even 1 month between Prophet getting ill and Fadak. When Prophet was ill, the calamity of Thursday, we have all have heard of. What is the most famous thing which we keep on quoting? What was said? The book is enough for us. Hasbuna kitabullah. The book is enough. Thank you very much. We don't need it. And then Bibi, for a reason, goes back and she argues with Quran. Dawood, because she could have said, look at this hadith and this hadith. Only 1 month ago you said, Hasbuna kitabullah. So let me bring the argument from Quran. And what do? They put the hadith forward now. When Bibi is trying to say, well, just 1 month. This is the knowledge. This is the excellence of Bibi. When she is exposing for any common sense person. If only 1 month back you were saying that we don't need any hadith. The book is enough. And today you are bringing a hadith in front of Quran? Yeah, that was in Quran, but Holy Prophet said this. So that's why we can overrule it. That was the strength of lady. And that was the ilmul kalam, the basis of argument. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So Bibi has clearly said in that way, Allah has declared that to organize the affair of nation, you should follow Ahl Bayt. And He has declared our imamat, and this is the point she makes, as protection from division. This is a quote, direct quote from Fadak. Bibi is putting the argument of imamat forward. If you or anybody of us were to go and say, claim in a court, what will we be arguing about? I mean, how many times she talks about the date trees or palm trees in the whole of the Fadak sermon? She doesn't talk about that. She's putting the whole theological argument forward. That's for us to learn from. You know what is actually it? It is imamat. You want to take away. But you guys, 1400 years later, remember imamat is important. Because that is the only thing which will save you from division. Why? Because Imam will not do conjuncture. Imam will not do speculation. It will keep you united because it will give logical answers. It will move you forward. It will not go with somebody like Imam Abu Hanifa. Another thing which she says, she compares Imam, and she doesn't give much discussion, but there are very good books which talks about that. Imam lady has got another saying, not in Khutbah Fadak, but famous one. I like 3 things. They are mehboob to me. Reciting Quran, seeing the face of Prophet, and spending in the way of Allah. And in that hadith, after that, she also talks about Imam is like Kaaba or Qibla. And she moves forward. Ulama have taken a very good take on it. And that actually goes back to the argument which is sometimes placed. Why did Ali not fight for it? Why did Ali not take Fadak back? Kaaba is there. Look at Abraha. When he wanted to attack, what did Abdul Muttalib do? He said, Allah will protect it. It's not my problem. My problems are my camels. Give me my camels here. And he was like, I thought you were a great person and all you want is camels? I'm coming for the house. He said, house is house. Imam, and Bibi compares Imam with Kaaba. No, Kaaba does not go to people. People go to Kaaba. Kaaba will protect, or in whatever way, not Kaaba, but Allah will protect Kaabas. It's like Hurmat. Allah has protected Ali's Hurmat. I mean, what can be bigger miracle than this? If I ask any of us here, I come from Pakistan. Pakistan came into existence about 77 years now, 77 years back. So 70 years, one lifetime. If you ask any Pakistani person who doesn't matter how much history he knows, they will still be arguing with each other. Did it happen in 1970s and what was 1960s? Who was the Prime Minister? Was he really Prime Minister? Did that really happen? In 70 years, you lose the whole person. No matter you have got video evidence or not. For 70 years, somebody all in Jummah Salat, in every speech, the one thing which was wajib was Sabbo Shatam. for Ali. And we have quoted lots of incidents when people compared Ali with a robber, an illegitimate person, and everything. And today, the Mu'jiza and miracle has stayed because Imam is like Kaaba. It will protect itself. It will be find it really, really, I will be very surprised, no matter how hardcore Wahhabi you or you say any word, hardcore extremist you are. Nobody will say Ali was Nauzubillah corrupt. Their best defense will be Ali was the friend of Hazrat Abu Bakr and Hazrat Umar. Nobody will say today that Hazrat Ali was Nauzubillah a wrong type of person. That's the Mu'jiza. That is Kaaba for you. No matter how much you try to tarnish its image, it resurrects itself. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And this is the second part, which is again for us to read in our own time, but a beautiful theological piece from Fadak. Allah made faith. Why? Why did it? And she gives explanations. As a mean to purify yourself from bending towards many gods. Look at your dignity. Raise it up. You should not be. Faith and Tawheed is important for us to strongly believe in so that we should not be bending towards many gods. Now, you and I can sit here and say, well, actually that was for polytheists of that times only. People have got like 360 gods and things, and this is what Tawheed saved it from. But what is the famous hadith which goes, I fear Allah so that I don't have to fear anybody else. Imam Ali's famous saying. That is Tawheed. That is what she's drawing to us towards. If we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fully, and people like me, we have got our varying level of Iman, but that's what we need to strive towards. If you believe in supremacy of Allah, why would you be bending towards other people? Allah, that's why Allah made faith as a mean to purify you, so that you don't bend towards other gods. He made prayer or salat a mean of freeing yourself from arrogance. Again, people who have done the Tashri and Tawzi of Fadak Sarman, they have written a lot about it. But basically they talk about, look at how salat is recited. How do you actually put your head and your nose on the dust? It reminds you where you will be going. You are not bad, and you will be, the place where you do salat has to be pure. You cannot have anything there. Doesn't matter. You need to get yourself to that lowly level that you need to clean the floor. MashaAllah, we have got carpets and everything, but this is symbolic. The arrogance should go away from you. This is another important one. Zakat, a mean of cleansing the soul and increasing sustenance. Now, again, we can go into theological, but again, there's a very good logical argument which has been placed. Said, if you paid a lot of zakat, meaning sadaqah, khairat, and gave the money away in charity, what is logically going to happen? Obviously, we will say that inshallah we will get even more money than that. It happens anyway. But even if we don't have any faith, Nauzubillah, what will logically we be thinking? I'm losing money. So I had 100 pounds yesterday, I gave away 10 pounds, I've got 90 pounds left. So invariably you will go out and do work even harder, and rather than 10 extra pounds, you will making 20 pounds extra. Naseem bhai, like people will know this. When logically you work harder on your business, you don't stay on the same business. You will get more and more. So when you are cleaning, that's what is cleansing of yours. You give the money away because it will invariably bring more money. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you anyway, but it will give you the reason to make more efforts. Salat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Fasting, a mean of establishing sincerity. And this is what we have heard so many times when Mubarak will come, and we will hear this again and again. Who do we fast for? Because literally it is one ibadah. We don't do anything, do we? Nobody can see. Unless somebody comes and I want to show off, I will say, actually, I'm fasting. But generally, it's between me and God. There's no other thing. It's just total sincerity. So I can go in that room and just have a sip of water. But I dare you. And this is where, when we talk about youths, it becomes so refreshing that no matter how hard it was, a few years back, we had June and July, Ramadan. And they will be coming home and they will be like that. But nobody will dare put the water in their mouth. Maybe they did. I don't know. But that's the sincerity which they had. And I'm very confident they had that sincerity in which they didn't drink it. Hajj, a mean of appraising the religion. BBC and CNN, doesn't matter what they cover in the whole year or not. But here comes 9th of Zilhijjah, there is a video there. He'll say, today there were so many millions. Now, I'm not talking about how sincere they are and what stories they are making, but Bibi said it. It is appraising the religion. Meaning, it's making the religion known to other people. Hajj, when you have got, no matter how many people unified there, it will be doing that. Justice, a means for maintaining harmony of hearts. Obedience of us, maintaining order in community, which I just said. Imamat, security from disunity. Jihad, meaning of glorification. And Amr bil Maruf, for reformation of masses. Because reformation of masses. Loving your parents, protection from divine wrath. Sila Rahmi, increasing your numbers. It goes on, all the theology, the reasons, why are we doing it? And I hope I can learn from it firstly before I teach our children. But that's what we need to know from the beginning. If Bibi is saying it, why are we looking for other reasons other places? If Bibi is saying that's why we are doing Salat, why shouldn't we look at the resources to give ourselves? This is what we need to solidify. We need to. Obviously, in Quran we will find that we made some wajib for you as it was made before, so that you can find taqwa, isn't it? And how do we find, and then whole of the Mahr Mubarak we will be hearing and inshallah learning and improving that how do we create taqwa? Well, Bibi has given a very right source, sincerity. If we bring sincerity in our amal, taqwa will come. I think that was, to me, it just stood out. This khutbah of Fadak for that reason. And whenever I read it, and you try to picture yourself in the Medina of those days, when atrocity is high, you just have lost your baby, and you are really in pain all the time, your ribs is still broken, and you stand up there, look in the eyes of tyrant, and you give this lecture. Subhanallah. Let's take some inspiration from it. It's not just the pain of the lady speaking. It's not her physical pain. It's her pain for Ummah to improve. That's what she's longing for. Look, I'm not here. I will talk about the palm trees or whatever. I can talk about it. But please, I have got an audience now. Write it down. Learn from it and improve yourselves. Salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And this is what we need to take from these days. My humble contribution is just to request all of us, including myself, let's lead just Fadak. And obviously, as people have said before, that either it is one khutbah or 2 or 3 khutbah which are put together, but these are words of Bibi. We know that. So which order they were, even if I can take 1 or 2 paragraphs and try to put that in my life, I would be very content that has really worked hard. So when we are coming to the end of these days, and then we will be going to Bibi's birthday celebration in some days' time. But let's take the most of it. Let's not confine Bibi Fatima to the days of it and forget about her. Despite her giving us in such a short time, every Imam has given us so much. This Bibi has also given a lot in only one lecture. So may Allah help us to guide on the pathway of the Bibi. May Allah make us the real followers of Imamat and understand what Imamat really means. May Allah please don't let us take to the path which has been told to us in Quran that you can choose the Imams which will take you to the hellfire. Without knowing, may Allah, without knowing that I am creating an Imam for me and I'm following their path rather than Imam Ali's path. May Allah protect me from that and us from that. May Allah protect us from really the hellfire and please accept our ibadat and may Allah hasten our 12th Imam's appearance. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdillah. Assalamu alayka ya Ibn Rasulillah. Assalamu alayka wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alayka ya waritha Adam sifwatillah. Assalamu alayka ya waritha Nuhin nabiyillah. Assalamu alayka ya waritha Ibrahim khalilillah. Assalamu alayka ya waritha Musa kalimillah. Assalamu alayka ya waritha Isa ruhillah. Assalamu alayka ya waritha Muhammadin habibillah. Assalamu alayka ya waritha Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam waliyillah. Assalamu alayka ya ibn Muhammadin al-Mustafa. Assalamu alayka ya ibn Ali al-Murtada. Assalamu alayka ya ibn Fatimah al-Zahra. Assalamu alayka ya ibn Khadijah al-Kubra. Assalamu alayka ya Thar Allahi wa ibn Tharih والوتر الموتور. أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر وأطعت الله ورسوله حتى أتاك اليقين. فلعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأصلاب الشامخة والأرحام المطهرة. لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها ولم تلبسك من مدلهمات ثيابها. وأشهد أنك من دعائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين. وأشهد أنك الإمام البر التقي الرضي الزكي الهادي المهدي. وأشهد أن الأئمة من ولدك كلمة التقوى وأعلام الهدى والعروة الوثقى والحجة على أهل الدنيا. وأشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياءه ورسله أني بكم مؤمن وبإيابكم موقن بشرائع ديني وخواتيم عملي وقلبي لقلبكم سلم أمري لأمركم متبع. صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وعلى أجسادكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا ابن نبي الله. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا ابن الحسين الشهيد. السلام عليك أيها الشهيد وابن الشهيد. السلام عليك أيها المظلوم وابن المظلوم. لعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. السلام عليكم يا أولياء الله وأحباءه. السلام عليكم يا أصفياء الله وأوداءه. السلام عليكم يا أنصار دين الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار رسول الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي محمد الحسن بن علي الولي الزكي الناصح. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي عبد الله بأبي أنتم وأمي طبتم وطابت الأرض التي فيها دفنتم وفزتم فوزا عظيما فيا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز معكم. السلام عليك يا أبا الفضل العباس بن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا ابن سيد الوصيين. السلام عليك يا ابن أول القوم إسلاما وأقدمهم إيمانا وأقومهم بدين الله وأحوطهم على الإسلام. أشهد لقد نصحت لله ولرسوله ولأخيك فنعم الأخ المواسي. فلعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة استحلت منك المحارم وانتهكت حرمة الإسلام. فنعم الصابر المجاهد المحامي الناصر وله الدافع عن أخيه المجيب إلى طاعة ربه الراغب فيما زيد فيه غيره من الثواب الجزيل والثناء الجميل والحقق الله بدرجة آبائك في الجنات النعيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء سلطان أبو الحسن مولانا علي بن موسى الرضا كن شفيعنا وشفيع والدينا في يوم الجزاء ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا حجة الله ابن الحسن يا صاحب العصر والزمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا كعبة الإيمان. عجل الله لك ما وعدك من النصر وظهور الأمر ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم صل على إلى أرواح المؤمنين من ثواب فاتحة.